Happening now, rapid COVID-19 testing spots are full, and they filled up in only hours. We'll tell you about that. Plus, a Jamestown man will spend the next decade in prison for his part in trafficking meth here locally.
And the sun is out for this first full day of fall, but the warmer temperatures are coming back. I've got the details next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Wednesday. I'm Justin Gould. Spots for Chautauqua County's first COVID-19 rapid testing site here in Jamestown filled up in several hours. That according to health officials who organized the effort. First announced on Monday, the two-day rapid testing availability will serve more than 60 people total. Chautauqua County's Department of Health epidemiologist Brianne Agate tells us, unlike other COVID-19 testing clinics, the rapid testing site has its own advantages and disadvantages. The biggest pro, Agate says, is that results come back in 15 minutes. However, staff can only serve one person at a time in various intervals.
In contrast to some of the testing that had been done earlier, like with Fieldbrook, for example, we swabbed people, put the swab in a viral media tube, and then shipped them off to a lab. So it went along very quickly. Whereas with a rapid test, we can only schedule one person per machine for every 15 minutes. So that's 4 people per machine per hour. So unfortunately, we don't have as many slots as we would have if it was a swab and send to the lab.
Agate says that she wasn't surprised to see those spots fill up as quickly as they did because of various testing mandates in place by New York State. Those looking to visit nursing homes, for example, must test negative for COVID-19 prior to their visit. She also says residents who show symptoms of the virus but could have something like the common cold can benefit from the fast turnaround in results.
Some of those kids in school, maybe they have cold symptoms and they want to get back to school right away. If we know it's COVID-19 negative and they have a doctor's note, they can get back right away instead of having to wait 10 days in some cases.
Agate says other rapid testing clinics will be on the horizon throughout the month of October, but she urges residents interested in getting tested to sign up for those appointments as quickly as possible. 4 rapid testing machines and 1,000 testing kits were provided by New York State, and they arrived in the county late last week. Well, a check of this morning's state school COVID-19 report card showed that only 2 of the 14 listed private schools here locally have reported any information to the state. The 18 public school districts report no new positive cases as of this morning, but only Bethel Baptist Christian Academy and Northern Chautauqua Catholic School reported to the new state system. Neither school reports any new positive cases. The remaining dozen private schools show no information or a status of no report having been listed. The latest figures are for Tuesday morning, and the list includes private school and Amish community schools who are not reporting information at this hour. All of the county's 55 public schools have issued daily reports to the state, which in turn report the information to county health officials. Well, the threat of a government shutdown's now on hold. An agreement yesterday gave Washington, D.C. some breathing room for at least a little while. Our John Lawrence is at the Capitol with the latest.
After days of debate between Republicans and Democrats, a bipartisan accord is reached on the House floor.
2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
H.R. 8337, a stopgap spending measure that funds the government through December 11th, is approved 359 to 57, with one person voting present. The agreement features tens of billions for the Commodity Credit Corporation, which supplies aid to farmers, and close to $8 billion for nutritional aid.
House Democrats are going to continue to fight for a relief package that supports moms without childcare, families without food, and workers without hope.
The deal was clinched by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, who says the country is showing signs of an economic rebound.
America is in the midst of the fastest economic recovery from any crisis in the U.S. The August jobs report showed the economy has gained back 10.6 million jobs since April, nearly 50% of all jobs lost due to the pandemic.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. The legislation now heads to the Senate and is expected to be taken up there in the next few days. Well, Congressman Tom Reed this morning urged House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to stand by her public comments to keep the House in session until a COVID-19 relief package passes Congress. In a conference call with reporters, he says he sent a letter to House leaders urging them to stay in session and complete a favorable relief package on behalf of the American people. Reed says he will continue to pressure lawmakers to reach an agreement before they close out session.
My hope is, as they are now in the room discussing these issues, that the Speaker will honor her public commitment to stay here, and we will continue to put pressure on them. And I'm thankful to our colleagues on a bipartisan basis.
In addition, the congressman says the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg may have diverted the Senate's attention from a relief package to now a battle over filling her vacancy. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now. Hopefully everybody is having a great day as we make our way through this hump day. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Kathy. Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see Judy. Good to see Robin, Ellie, Lori, Lizzie, Pam, and Troy as well. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Good afternoon to Lisa, Christine, and David. David says, hopefully everybody's enjoying this nice weather. And yeah, it might be the first full day of fall out there, but as Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter can certainly tell us, it's feeling like summer today.
Yes, it is. And some more summer air is going to be on the way as we head throughout the week. And happy Wednesday, everybody. Every day I like to wish you a happy day no matter what the day is. But here we go. Live look coming from Salamanca here. You can see just a few clouds dotting the sky. Temperature already up to 64 degrees as of noon hour. And temperatures are going to be rising here as we go throughout the day and especially over the next couple of days. Satellite and radar composite shows you just a few of these little high clouds moving across the southern tier. Not a big deal there, but I think a lot of the area today is going to be in a lot of sunshine, and the good news is we don't have any hazy sunshine today from the wildfire smoke. 65 was the high yesterday. We forecasted 65, so we hit that high exactly. 45 was the low this morning. 91 and 29 are the record high and low for this day. And the one thing we've been stressing is we do need rain, and over the next 4 days, really nothing. It's not going to be until Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week when we'll actually start to get into a little bit of a wetter pattern, and of course you'll see that in the 7-day forecast a little bit later on. So lots of sunshine through the afternoon. UV index moderate, so I would still wear the sunscreen out there just to be safe. Nice and mild, but the breeze increases through the day. 66 at the Lake Erie shoreline to 75 while inland with a wind eventually going southwest 7 to 18 miles per hour. The warmer air continues, then we get a little bit of rain as we go into the later part of the weekend. We'll time it all out in just a few minutes. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we're certainly looking forward to that. Thank you. State officials report troubling news for thousands of New York State college students, telling lawmakers that two key grants may not be fully funded or funded at all for the spring semester. Officials with the state's Higher Education Services Corporation told lawmakers that the tuition assistance program and Excelsior scholarship grant funding remains in doubt for that semester. Officials said this fall semester is completely funded and will have priority for students who have already approved and are receiving grants. The group is waiting to hear from state officials about what decreases in state revenue will mean for the grant's future, with much depending on possible federal assistance to states. Meanwhile, the Better Business Bureau says scammers are using this COVID-19 pandemic to target those college students. The organization says it's received reports about employment scams going after them. The scams begin with an email sent to a student's official school email. In them, the scammer impersonates a professor or even a member of the university's job department with an offer. If accepted, the student receives a check and is told to send out some money orders or prepaid cards. Eventually, the bank alerts the student that the check is fake. By then, though, the scammer already has their money and their personal information at the same time. The Better Business Bureau does advise students to research any company offering them work. Well, coming up next, the latest on an endorsement in the Chautauqua County Executive's race. And later, we tell you how long a Jamestown man will sit behind bars for drug trafficking. That and more next as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. We want to start with some breaking news. Police have released more video in just the last minute following that hit-and-run crash that sent a 60-year-old man to the hospital yesterday. Jamestown Police Captain Robert Samuelson, in an update, is reminding the public that there could be a reward now offered by Crime Stoppers of Western New York. And you see in this new video, it appears that it shows the man being struck and run over. We just got this information into our incident, but again, police say the hit-and-run crash happened on Pine Street near East 6th Street. Investigators now have this video from the scene, which appears to show that the SUV turned east onto East 5th Street, where it continued to East 2nd Street. And you can see in the video, the 61-year-old man was struck and he sustained a broken ankle and a leg as a result. Luckily now, police say that the man has since been released from UPMC Chautauqua Hospital. Again, anyone with information in this incident is asked to call Jamestown Police at 483-7537. The number again is 483-7537. They say that this dark SUV was spotted leaving the area. If you know anything about this, police say to contact them. Well, in other news, the Democratic candidate for Chautauqua County Executive has received a series of endorsements from local labor organizations. Rich Morris-Rowe's campaign announced today that he has been endorsed by the United Auto Workers Union and the Southwestern New York Buildings and Constructions Trade. The Dunkirk lawyer says if elected, he plans to restructure the county's industrial development agency and invest in infrastructure, which includes working with the State Department of Transportation to make some major upgrades to Route 60. The candidate says that the CCIDA is one of the worst performing IDAs in New York when it comes to creating jobs. and that he wants to build an IDA that provides economic incentive benefits for workers in the community, not just corporations. A Jamestown man will spend the next decade in prison for his part in drug trafficking. That according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, who says 19-year-old Jacob Graham was sentenced to 10 years behind bars after being convicted yesterday. Officials say Graham was arrested after engaging in a May 2019 fight on Crescent Street near Cheney Streets. He was followed by detectives in an unmarked vehicle and intercepted by a police car at a residence on Lincoln Street. Police say there they discovered 2 bags of meth, a loaded 12-gauge shotgun, and 16 shotgun shells. Police report that shotgun was stolen from Ohio in March 2017. The late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg now has arrived at the Supreme Court of the United States for the last time. More than 100 of Ginsburg's former clerks met her flag-draped casket and lined the High Court steps this morning. Some served as honorary pallbearers, while others stood guard as she lay outside of the building for a private ceremony. The public will now be allowed to pay its respects until tomorrow. That's when President Donald Trump will visit the Supreme Court building. The president says he will reveal his pick to fill her vacancy Saturday, while GOP senators work towards seating the justice replacement after late Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death. Camila Burnell is at the Supreme Court with the latest on where we're standing and to fill the vacancy.
Republican senators quickly falling in line, backing President Trump's eventual pick to replace Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I would say that I'm very close to making a decision in my own mind, and I'm going to reveal it on Saturday.
Then senators will be on the fast track, scheduling hearings and a vote, potentially before the election.
We have a lot of time. We have nothing but time.
The last nomination to succeed with a less than 2-month confirmation process was the seat Republicans want to replace, Justice Ginsburg's back in 1993. But in that case, an election was not in play.
This is just unusual. It really is, and it divides our country more.
We have an obligation under the Constitution, should we choose to take advantage of it, to fill the vacancy, and I assure you that's very likely to happen.
The drive to cement a conservative majority on the Supreme Court will have profound consequences and could impact future High Court decisions on a potential election year dispute or health care.
Republicans don't care who the nominee is because they know that the nominee will vote to strike down the Affordable Care Act.
Democrats, practically powerless to stop any confirmation, are attempting to convince 4 Republicans to vote against a quick court installation. 2 senators, Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, oppose a vote before the election. But with Utah Senator Mitt Romney's support,
I will vote based upon the qualifications of that nominee.
Republicans have the votes to put any nominee on the Supreme Court quickly.
Well, I'm more than hopeful. I think it's going to happen.
In Washington, I'm Camila Burnell.
Justice Ginsburg served on the Supreme Court for almost 30 years. She died last week at the age of 87. Well, the hell with it. It's 2020. That's the new slogan Reese's is using with their new peanut butter cups. And let's be honest, they do have a pretty good point. This year has been far from sweet, so Reese's is embracing the salty side of life and adding pretzels to their peanut butter cups. The Hershey candy brand says the new treat will hit stores in November, and there'll be a permanent addition to the lineup. The candy giant is a little nervous about how COVID-19 will affect Halloween this year, so they've lined up some tasty treats to look forward to after the holiday as well. Looking pretty good. Gotta love it. You know, Dakota, that's what it's been. I mean, it's you laughed out loud, but it's...
Yeah. The hell with it. What about the weekend? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's serious. It's what it's... We're to this point now. It's like, we talked about this earlier this week. 2020.
It is, yeah.
It is what it is.
Expect the unexpected like we do with thunderstorms. Just expect the unexpected with this year.
It's at this point, it's like, especially when we're watching the news, it's like, things change so quick. And here we are. So enjoy some Reese's. I think that's actually a great addition to their lineup because I would always do that with my ice cream. Like I'd get melted Reese's and then put some pretzels on there. So one less step for me. I can just throw the cups right in it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The bunny ice cream, the bunny tracks, is kind of like what it reminds me of. Hey, speaking of bunny tracks, I guess not really about bunny tracks. How about this picture of the fall foliage that came in from Pam in Randolph today, and that is looking beautiful. And we'll zoom in just a little bit on it for you. There you go. You can see the fall foliage right here. And now, of course, as we go into the later part of the fall, of course, the leaves are going to be changing here. So if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense weather page, and make sure that you use the hashtag MyLocalWX. And man, it actually wasn't bad this morning. 45 is the low temperature this morning. How about Clymer at 37, 56 Fredonia, 56 Dunkirk, and 55 over in Erie. So temperatures were not as cool as they were, say, the past couple of days, but we actually did the calculations on this. We had 4 straight nights where we had a low temperature of 40 degrees or lower, and that has not happened in September since 2014, where we actually had 6 days. And of course, you know, we were slaving away in the weather office this morning doing the calculations on this. So it's been a while since we've seen this kind of coolness, or this kind of, I mean, I don't want to say cold, but it's been a while since we've seen this kind of chilly air in September. And the good news is, if you like the warmer air, it is coming back. Look at the high temperatures over the next 5 days here. So we're going to be in the 70s. We're going to shoot up into the upper 70s both Friday and Saturday before we start to go back down into the lower 70s on Sunday. So if you've closed the pool, open it back up, because, you know, it's just like what we talked about. It's 2020. It is what it is. 67 at noon hour right now. West wind of 9, but the dew point relatively low right now, so we don't have a wind chill or a heat index, so that's good. High pressure still controls across the Northeast. This is what's left of Hurricane Teddy. It is now a post-tropical storm up here going up into Nova Scotia. And the other story is, you might be hearing about this, a lot of the flooding rain that was left over from Beta, it is now a post-tropical cyclone right there. You can see the center of circulation right there. Lots of flooding near Houston. A big deal out there. But the good news is for us, none of this moisture is going to be impacting us over the next 7 or so days. So the zone forecast, the inland areas today, this is where we're going here. Temperatures in the lower 70s across much of the inland areas. I think maybe once you work down to northwestern Pennsylvania, you may spike up into the upper 70s, especially Warren County. Lake Erie shoreline, cooler spot today because of a southwest wind coming directly off the lake. And look at the Lake Erie water temperature, now down to 66 degrees. So yes, it is getting cooler. Next 7 days of your life right here on screen. 71 tomorrow, 78 on Friday. It's really going to be feeling like August here, essentially as we go throughout the day on Friday. Now the weekend, the first part of it's going to be great. Saturday, 77 degrees. It stays mild. Sunday, we'll have another trough digging into the region. So that'll bring us a chance for a few showers, maybe a couple thunder showers, and we'll keep the rain chances in there both Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures going back down into the mid to lower 60s. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. We will be back right after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Speaking up for what's right. Helping out when things go wrong. Raising our voices alone or together. Not just breaking news, but breaking barriers. Fighting for victory on the battlefield and on the playing field. Seeing the world through new eyes and the earth from miles above. Redefining beauty, brains, and what it really means to be queen. Making ourselves heard on stage and on screen. Showing the way in Silicon Valley and showing up for others wherever help is needed most. Not just making our mark, but making a difference. Now that's a job for a Girl Scout. Girl Scouts, preparing girls for a lifetime of leadership.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24